Hello everyone, I'm Atul Singh. Hope you are doing good today. Welcome to NovelVista's Learning Carnival. And our blockchain webinar topic for today is blockchain introduction and the future business. Blockchain technology is one of the most popular topics in both the business and technology industries. Since its inception, blockchain has quickly evolved to mean much more than just Bitcoin. More and more enterprises are looking to blockchain and distributed ledger technology, that is DLT, for solutions around data security, data privacy, encryption, and compliance. We'll give you a brief of how blockchain technology has become an integral part of the business process in enterprises. We have got our expert for today, who is Mr. Rami Aldamati. He's a cybersecurity and blockchain expert holding master's degree in information security from the University of Hertfordshire. He has got 17 plus years of rich experience in this field with a strong focus on smart and resource efficient systems. He's also an expert in the emerging technologies including fintech, IoT, cybersecurity, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence. Furthermore, Mr. Rami, he will be giving us some new insights about blockchain. Over to Mr. Rami.
We will start as introduction into the history of the money, how it has been evolved over the time, and where it is reached now in all the time. Now, what is the problem with the existing financial systems? Why the people now facing a problem in these financial systems, and what is the solutions for that? Which is part of this solution. We will discuss it during the presentation, which is the converting from centralization to the decentralization. The smart contract and the application that can be used in multiple industry. Also, we'll go with the history of the blockchain, explaining how it is work, the type of the blockchain and its impact in the industries with some examples and the existing limitation that it had. Not every technology came to the picture, have the complete features, everything is fine. With the time, it will be fixed and adapt, and it will help the people to complete their work. And if you are in the business, you need to understand the distributed ledger technologies, the type, the business cases that they can be used, and the application that you can develop and build it, with some explanation about the best practices for successful projects in your enterprise. Okay, so let me start with the beginning of the history for that one. Now, we will keep some time for question and answer at the end of the presentation, so you can just keep your questions to the end, prepare it. Anything you want us to explain it more, we can get back to it. So starting from the history of the money. The history of the money started, as you know, long time back, when people start doing exchange of the medium. If you have a horse, you want to exchange it with someone, maybe cow. They agree on it and they just do the exchange and they can utilize it as they want. But with the time and people start doing their life, it's difficult to carry the cow to the restaurant and pay for your maybe meal over there or something, or you want to do shopping or anything. So people, they start evolving and looking for alternatives, and the money, they start being classified or distinguished as multiple area. First of all, it is start as a medium of exchange. Then it is start as a unit inside an account, which is being created by the banks. They mention, okay, we will create a specific amount in your bank and you can use it. But how I can use it out of the bank? These type of details, or this currency itself. They came with the idea of, or sorry, the discovering of the gold they start get evolved in the area discovery and in the people traveling, collecting these gold, and it have a lot of value because it is rare in availability. And again, it is difficult also to use these gold with you all the time. So it's been converted to metal coins, and these metal coins start being using it by the people with the time and their needs. Uh, in China, they start introduced the paper money in let's say in 18th century, and in that time, people start see that yes, there is multiple value for this paper money. It's easy to carry. It's easy to be handled. Okay, and this also can be let's say exchange for a value. So they start putting a value on it and start they building a lot of let's say trading concepts or exchanging concepts because of the people now they start traveling in multiple continents, multiple countries, and they start using it in multiple area. Now, with the evolving with the time, people start getting connected to the internet. The internet came the 19s, and people start using it. A lot of details start connecting the people together in the life of the digital economy. It came to the pictures, and people start dealing together with each others with a value, stored value in a specific medium, which is maybe digital currency or maybe electronic money or checks or something. So they start using their money, the paper money, store it in a specific, let's say, cards or an online account, map it to these details. But with evolving with the attacks and with threats that happening, that they start getting the money from these accounts, manipulating the facts, do double spending, all of these type of things. The cryptocurrency came in the picture and showing the value to doing an encrypted currency, that it need to be used across all of the internet without any control, but in a secure way. Okay, so this is like something in historical information about it. And when we going forward, we can see or let me start first of all about the fiat currency or the paper currency itself for that. Okay, now the paper currency or the fiat currency itself, it's like holding a value of a paper, but this paper is linked to the ledger that it is within the government. They have a physical commodity that it's backing it up. Okay, so let's say today the government, they have the gold, they store it, and they start generate the fiat currency that backing up these type of gold, this pack of fiat currency. Now the fiat system, which still we using it until today, it have the government assigned value to this currency, declaring it in the legal ledgers, and this means that the government decide whatever the medium of the payment, we will recognize it as a financial transaction, and doing it or using it in the trade settlement or commerce or country to country payment or something. Okay, so the legal tender concept itself, it's just a concept that they start to make more flexibility, more engagement in multiple area, and some currency like the US dollars or the euro or any others, they are being recognized internationally. Why? Because they are being using in the global trade. Everyone is using the dollar or euro in the global trade, and people start recognizing it and supporting the value for it, and it get they're powerful from that concept itself, which is global trading between multiple countries. Now, once this fiat is being used in every single days, the government start updating the ledgers, doing new printing based on the demand, based on the requirement, and so on. This make, or let's say, based on the economy of this country and the strongest trading concept between these countries, or it is the main country that is using for importing and exporting across all of the world, meaning that the economy is strong. So the currency take it is stronger from that concept. But the questions here: should we trust the fiat currency? Generally, people are now start losing the trust of this fiat currency. Why? Because we can see a lot of economy is going down, okay, like Mozambique or any other countries that their currency being gone like to the maximum loss for that, and their papers now losing their value, okay, because the local economical is very weak, so the currency going very weak. So as much as the economy is strong, then you will find that the currency getting more strong about it. Okay, so how is the currency take its value today? If the government release a currency, how is multiple currency across the world have their value? It's mainly determined the value of each one. It's done by the currency traders who work using an open auction house. How it is happening? Okay, so it is not the only factor to determine the value of the currency is the local economy, but again, how much they are influenced in the other economies, how they are available, how they are healthy economies, how they are play a strong role in the global economy. So many variables can be changed. Today, let's say we are generating a currency X, and this currency X get involved with only one country. It will not be strong. But if it's been flexible for multiple countries and being used worldwide and being simplified and everything, it will get a value of that of their value. It will be increased and it will be widely used at the same time. So what happened if the fiat currency system failed, which is happening already in multiple countries, that their economies crashed, okay, based on maybe corrupted government or political mismanagement or any things that happening. Again, the same example, what happening of Zimbabwe in the 1980, that the Zimbabwe dollars, it was at that time, it's cost like $1.25 as a good value, and it is strong. But after the let's say a lot of problems happening, the president there start having a problem with the community, with internationally or something and so on, then happening a lot of collapse in the food productions, which make a decline of foreign investment. Then the government start facing these problems, and even their currency start facing that type of problem. Then in 2009, the Zimbabwe dollars being like almost no value in that time, because it's completely not used it will not be traded outside of the country. There is no value for it, and so on. So this is part as an example how the currency system will be failed. So by a chance, we wake up in the morning, we found a problem in the country, or political problems, or war in the country, and so on. The economical will be going down. If a country is related on this fiat, definitely the fiat will lose their value directly. So this is making us, or the economical worldwide, to look to alternatives. Okay, so the current system mainly, it's centralized. What the meaning of the centralized? That anyone who want to send anything, he have to pass to a centralized authority. If I want to send the money to my brother in other country, I have to go to the local exchange. Local exchange is he's controlling this transaction through the central bank, and the central bank is controlling the transaction to the other countries. Okay, but this is little bit let's say have a cost on it, because I need to pay a fees for this exchange, and to send it and to receive it, and again it will take time. It will be centralized, controlled by one authority. The decentralized system is something totally different. Okay, it is like one-to-one communications. If I want to send the money to my brother in the other country, all what I need is the address of him, and I will send it peer-to-peer directly, without any medium man or exchange system or central bank to send it to them directly. So as an example of the centralized platforms, it's like Facebook, Google services, all of these services over the internet. You have to log in to the website, you have to use it, you have to use the application, you have to register, you have to utilize their application to send a document or send an email or something. But if you know about BitTorrent or Napster, they are offering a peer-to-peer file sharing, which is decentralized. They go away from central servers or central authority, and they start sharing the details or the files peer-to-peer directly to the other peers for that one. So what we can see even in the payment system, again, there is once it is centralized, it need to see or have a ledger. This ledger, it is like a record in your account to show the transaction that happening from you to your brother, okay, in the other countries, and being deducted this amount, and the percentage of the fees is this amount. But this is a central ledger. Okay, if an attackers or system failed once, you will not be able to retrieve it. Sometimes you will have a backup, yes, correctly, but again, it is a single point of failure. If an attacker hack this single point of ledger, he can change it, he can manipulate the facts, he can fraud it, whatever he can do. Okay, but in the decentralized, the copy of the ledgers will be distributed to multiple nodes within the network itself. So today, if I send this transaction, it will written in the record or the ledger that this transaction sent from X to Y with this value, okay, and will be replicated to the whole ledger nodes itself. Okay, so if one node has been failed, the other nodes still they have the original data. If a manipulation done on one node, still the other node they have the correct information, and they need to validate it before they do the needed change. So the method of the decentralized is two methods. First of all, you need to remove the middleman, which is the disintermediation, okay, and the through competitions. The first concept mainly focusing on that you are totally removing the middleman in any process, in any case. I don't need anyone to be in the middle. I will send the transaction directly one-to-one, okay, and it will be finished without any fees or any slowness. It will be immediately, and all of this stuff, which is we will discuss it in the coming slides. Through the competition, it will make a group of service provider who's offering people come and send one-to-one transaction through my services or through my systems. They need to be based on the decentralized systems, and they will compete together to enhance the service in order to gain more customers, which will help to make the maybe transaction fees is less, much faster, more secure, more valuable. All of these extra functionality that the customer will get it in order to enhance the service that he usually will have. Okay, so the routes to the decentralized, mainly, when you want to do this decentralized, you need to answer for many questions. What is being decentralized? What I want to decentralize? Let's say, as an example, the money transfer system. Okay, what is the level of decentralized I need it? I need a full decentralization, meaning determinations, disconnecting the third party at all. Okay, what is the blockchain that you use? Let's say, as an example, if I want to do a money transfer system, let me use a Bitcoin or use any other coins that can help me to do that one. Okay, what's the security mechanism is being used? I need to have an automated system with encryption, with all of these details, which will help to increase the security for that transaction itself. Okay, so smart contract. Smart contract is a terminology for a small decentralized program that help to make sure that transactions sent from A to B securely without any manipulations and without interacting with third party. Third party, you need to make sure when you send the data or money from A to Z, okay, you need to make sure that your data is correctly, there is identification details is correct, and all of these details, which is maybe we can avoid it if we write something called a smart contract, a small codes, understand let's say the transaction, the behavior, everything within a written contract called a smart contract itself. So another concept came, it is the decentralized autonomous organization, meaning that these are a computer program that will run on the top of the blockchain in order to make the governments to build the governance or the business logic rules. How does this meaning that, let's say we have a system for the car automations, we have system for the internet, we have system for research, for housing, smart house, and so on. But I need to make regulations for these let's say multiple decentralized. I want to control it within my country, within my company. So the concept of DAO or the decentralized autonomous organization came in the picture in order to organize this more and more. Okay, and at the same time, we found something called D-apps. Today, our application that we install it in our mobile and portals and everywhere, it's called an apps. Apps, it's centralized. It have one database or multiple database. I access to it. I connect my mobile to it. Then I get the service or I register on it. But the app is a network with multiple devices and multiple applications that be connected together, sharing the ledgers together without any central database to avoid any single point of failure or security breach or anything of that. So a part of the smart contract, again, smart contract in a small terminology is a set of computer codes between two or more parties that run on the top of the blockchain and consists a set of rules. Okay, set of rules for what? In order to make sure the transaction is happening securely and correctly and without any problems, without any tampering or without any attacks. It will be a tamper-proof and self-executed, self-verified, 100% correctly, and I don't need a man in the middle or the central authority for what. So mainly, as a symbol, how the smart contract is working. One, we want to send to specific goods or information or document. So they will agree on the term and conditions, and they put it on the smart contract as programming within the platform itself. Then the several transactions will be grouped into the block, and the block will be inserted to the cryptography methods to be sent to the second area, and once it's reached, it will be decrypted, because we need to make sure that it is tamper-proof without any change during the transaction it is happening. Okay, and this is the benefit how it is usually happen or we have when we apply a smart contract. We will find that there is a transparency, all the terms and conditions that need to be applied, verified, and the identity for the sender and receivers, they know each other's, and records will be transparent within the network itself. This is mainly for the public information. Cost effective, again, since we are removing the middleman or middle authority, I don't need to pay the fees for the transactions or fees for the sending this one. Accuracy, making sure that the legal contract or the smart contract is written correctly. A sent to B, identification verified, everything is verified, all the details is correct. Now encrypted and send it to the other parties, or given the service, apply term and conditions and everything. This will make sure that the accuracy of the data will be reached without any change or attacks during the transaction. And the trust, it will build the trust because it is automated. It will be no way to change, and there is no way to manipulate the facts inside it. The application, it can be applied in everywhere, in every industry you can imagine, in the insurance, in the banking, in the transportations, logistics, retails, everywhere. So you can see as an example, in the insurance, at the current system, you will have a claim, and I need to submit this claim to the provider, and waiting for the investigations, waiting for the insurance, waiting for the person, police, and all of this stuff. But if there is a smart contract is written, definitely once you submit it to the system will have a specific understanding for this process and the information what is happening to analyze it. Then if driver A hit driver B and he have a valid reasons, and this is the valid reasons, and this is the police report and everything, so this is the money, it will be go directly to you. It's easy, and the vehicle repair shop will be requested to fix this car based on the smart contract result analysis. Okay, and again, also in the digital identity, in the country, usually when you want to submit your information, in the my personal information, government information, the banks and everything. But if the country create a complete system for digital identity, one identity, it can be used across of all the area, banks, document authorities, governments, schools, everywhere. So you need to submit your information once you get inside the country, then you use your identity to verify it through the application or through the other services. And a lot of examples also it can be happening there. Okay, so the blockchain, as main concept that came to the pictures for the last few years. You can see the start of the blockchain started in the 1991 when Stuart Howard and Scott, they put the first information about the blockchain. Then Satoshi Nakamoto, either he person or a group of people, release the Bitcoin white paper, which is showing how the system need to be done and how it will be originally created, and the concept of the cryptography and removing the middleman. So in 2019 up to 2013, there is some people start get interest in these bitcoins and start using it, and a lot of people start utilizing it. So there is a demand is happening on the technology during this few years, which is around 3 years or something in that time. Then let's say creator of the Ethereum, who is Vitalik, he's a developer who create the wallpaper, which is similar to the Bitcoin concept, but they use it for development. So now there is starting a use for this technology, not only for Bitcoin, not only for transactions. No, there is another use. It can be implemented in the application. It can be implemented in the use cases. It can be used everywhere. So the foundations start being founded, like Linux Foundation, that bring the Hyperledger to enhance the development of a blockchain, giving it platforms. And another foundation is being created during that one in order to organize the use of the blockchain and learn the people how to use it. So this is like building a contract for the people to use as a template, because this is still an open source technology. But when the applications start coming in the 2018 up to today's application, meaning that I can apply blockchain in multiple industries, like car industry, insurance, financial, everywhere it can be done. So this is the evolving of the technology now, which is happening. So the blockchain technology mainly depend on the master copy, but the master copy previously it was centralized. What the meaning that I have a central server or multiple server, whatever, it is in a central area, and the client connected to them, and they have the master database that it is connected to. But in the blockchain, it is a distributed model or distributed ledger. I have multiple database, let's say, publish it across all of the internet everywhere. Okay, so these are into the showing that there is no single point of failure. There is no problem of having these details is let's say manipulated or played to change any record of it and so on, to make sure it is secure. So if you want to compare it with a centralized database, yes, it is single point of failure. There's no 100% secure. If attacker gain the access to it, it will be able to change any type of record. But in the blockchain architecture, which is a distributed ledgers technology, it will need an authentication, it will need authorizations, and make sure that any change happen in the network, all the network need to approve it. Otherwise, it will be drop this type of change without continuing it. So this is how this is the main part of the blockchain technology. Mainly is the transaction. There is a two parties or more, they need to exchange data or money or medical record or customer details, anything, it can be exchanged within the blockchain. Then another part, which is the most important part, is the verification, that you need to verify all the information about the parameters of the networks, from where to where, the nodes, the cases, the encrypted, everything. It needs to be verified before the transaction being done. And the structure of the block, once it's come, in order to insert it in which block, in which area, to link it with the previous block and the next block, and so on. and do the validations through the algorithm of the cryptocurrency, running like a mathematical puzzle in order to solve these equations and put the block within the blockchain network itself. So why we see a blockchain is an important for us. It is there is a lot of demand is over there because we can see a lot of features. It's solving the existing system. There is accountability. Accountability meaning that that you can rely on the decision or the information that they came over there. You can protect and do privacy for your identity, for your data, for your information, patient record, customer record, anything. And there is a scalability for the system. It can be scalable up to the maximum, not like the central database that we need to add more hardware, more infrastructures, and it might not be secured. And the security based on the authentication, based on the running the algorithm of the verifications. And there is a lot of motivations for the economy that will start adapting this technology and embed it within their systems. Like governments start building a lot of blockchain use cases and implementation in order to use it within their application or process to make life easy, secure, privacy, and more accountable for their people who's living in this country, or banking, financials, or hospitals, anywhere. Okay. So again, the key advantage of the blockchain is the security, transparency, and the efficiency for that networks. And this is the main features that always we keep repeated for the people, that there is a validity by the consensus, which meaning that any change in the network, if it has happened, all the network need to be approved, otherwise it will be dropped. Grouping of the chain, immutability, cannot change, distributed and replicated the information. There is no single point of failure. If one database failed, it will be replicated and recovered from the other database. Unforgettable, meaning that it can be once it's entered to the blockchain, to the network, it cannot be changed at all for maybe hundreds of years. And the traceability, they can do a tracing for the data over there, and it have also multiple options for the people. It does not need to be a public for everyone. It can be private for a specific company for specific use cases, or it can be mix and match between public and private with permission or permissionless itself. And we'll see a lot of the information about these details. Now, any technology in the market definitely have its own limitation at the beginning. This is why it's evolving with the time. With multiple years of the evolving of the blockchain, they started with a small size technology. New models came for the distributed ledgers and their technology, and they start getting evolved. So we can see some networks or blockchain models like Bitcoin or Ethereum, their speed is low, like 7 to 15 transactions per second. But when the Hyperledger came, it's reached up to 1,000 per second. Then with the timing, this speed is coming more and more. Also, some people still have their concern about the privacy. It needs a lot of power consumptions in order to generate one Bitcoin or maybe multiple Bitcoin at the same time. Since this domain is new, not every cybersecurity expert know what is the threats that can be done on this network. And one of the major attacks that usually is happening on the cryptocurrency domain is the 51 attack, called that the attacker controlling small network of the, let's say, cryptocurrency with a small amount of money that he can control it, and he can do manipulate and change the data he can steal the keys, he can steal the cryptocurrency itself, and so on. But this is not easy job, but it can be done. Okay. And the type of the blockchain that we have it today, as we mentioned, either it is public or private or mix and match, which is called consortiums. So the public mainly, it is something decentralized. It's over the internet, to have multiple nodes to participate. It's more secure, transaction, more transparent. But the challenge here that it's not controlled in the illegal ways. Let's say Bitcoin, it can be used today for weapon trading or drugs or something. So this is why the local government still don't approve it, and they are going to the a private implementation. But private implementation meaning that they are going partially to the centralized, so they are partially decentralized. Okay. And they are giving the permission who can read and who can write, or he can do both of them, and so on. Efficiency is much better, but again, there is some more challenges in the controlling the power, the aligning between multiple organizations. Let's say I have organization of or Ministry of Health connected to the Ministry of Finance and to the Smart Government Ministry or something, and they want to do transaction between them. So they need to go not to the private only. Each of these ministry will have a private, but the government, they need to build the consortium one in order to make them work all together within their private network itself. Okay. So the key success in order to make sure about the adoption, the technology, the validity about this technology, and its location in the market, definitely this technology need to achieve a wide success, and it will happen only if there is an acceptance from the local market, if there is a lot of knowledge about it, a lot of details, use case implementation, testing, development, in order to cover the cybersecurity gaps in it, in order to understand the architecture itself, the knowledge about the multiple platforms, the gap of the skills in this domain. Definitely it is a huge. Still the market need a lot of blockchain developers, advisory implementers in this domain. And the most important part is the legalization or the governance of the technology. It need to be really governed and legalized in order to do this one. And this is the industry use case. It's a huge. You can think about it is everywhere, and even it is not in the financial only, because most of the people mention it is only in the financial. No, it can be happen in the non-financial, like healthcare, like smart cars, fintechs, Internet of Things, everywhere. So the distributed ledgers mainly, as we explaining. Okay, it is multiple type and combination between public, private, permissionless, and distributed and decentralized, which is compared to the local database. It's totally different. But this is mainly what the enterprise people, when they want to implement blockchain, they need to understand these terminologies, because mainly it is programmable, more secured, immutable for their data. It can also have anonymous identifications and distributed either for their private network or for their multiple private. And you can see there is too much. As of today, we have multiple distributed ledgers technologies being built, and each one have its own advantage and disadvantage, its own pros and cons in order to use it, starting from blockchain and DAC, hashgraph, holograph, holochain, and so on. They have multiple features from them, and they are used in multiple cases, and each case is different on the others. So definitely the blockchain advisory or blockchain developer, he need to understand sorry, these terminologies and where and how we can use it. We don't need to use all of this technology in our business implementation, but we can use it in mix and match. And the application, it can be used everywhere, as we mentioned: trading, supply chain, manufacturing, transportation, everywhere. Okay, so this is the implementation of this technology. You can find it that it is usable and flexible to be used everywhere. Okay, and the challenges again is the regulations, the global impact itself, the maturity of the technology, the security, protections part, privacy part. It need to be evolved and it need to be enhanced. So mainly as a business projects, you can see with the time, the market demand and implementations in billions of dollars within the years, it's increased dramatically. Okay, so you can see it's starting from 2016, it's like 210 billions of dollars. In 2020 or 2021, it will reach to the maybe more than of this number with a huge expand, because the implementation is coming in everywhere, and the securities, and the financial, and the recording, and the digital currency, and anywhere you can see it: banking system, insurance, healthcare, real estate. And this is the use cases that can be used. As an example, for the healthcare, the most important part is protecting the customer records itself. Real estate, reducing the cost, enhance the transparency, payouts, automations, and so on. So you can see a lot of details can be implemented. Education, verification of the educational certificate, and the validation, the security, and the data storage, the track the records of them, and all of this stuff that can be happening. So as a steps to implement blockchain is not a software you install it and you plug and play and run it. No, you need first of all to identify a use case. You cannot implement blockchain from day one or first year to whole business, to convert all your business to that one. No, it is a journey. You need to identify the use case. Let's say airline, I want to run blockchain for loyalty program. Okay, you will go to the next step, which is the POC or the proof of concept. You test it, then start doing testing, building, and so on. Work with a partner who connected to the system, then start operate and manage it in the production, move it to the production, then return back to the use case and build a new one, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, because when you implement it, you need to consider that it should be work. Failure is an option always. Focus on your target and specific use case. Prepare yourself to fight futures, what type of permissions, and if the data get in, it cannot be changed. So immutability is very important part, and you need to make sure that the data that you enter it is correctly. Okay, so this is mainly like, this is the process as we mentioned: workflow, idea, proof concept, development, and the cycle of visualization and upgrade and all of this stuff. I'm sorry because we are out of time somehow because of the technical issues, but we will share of this presentation with you with a lot of information embedded with it. And let me go to the question and answer part in order to have the time for the questions and answer for everyone as well.
Hello everyone. As we are short on time, so it's recommended if you can drop a mail about your questions on atul@novelvista.com, and we will get back to you on shortly. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Mr. Rami. It was pleasure having you on the forum. I think I'm sure all the audience there must have liked it, got useful insights about it. As a part of our knowledge sharing initiative via Learning Carnival, we keep on coming up with the latest technology webinars. So stay glued to our webinar page, which is novelvista.com/webinar. Although we have got different technology webinars coming up in the next few days, you can register over there and you can share the pages as well to the like-minded friends and colleagues. Thanks a lot and see you in the next webinar. Thank you so much.